Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to 𝕃𝕀𝒂𝒎𝒔 YouTube channel, starring me, the Mighty 𝕊𝕌𝔹𝕊ℂ𝐿. This is Bosses Only, the video series where we look at just the bosses from a dungeon, because you're not stuck on trash, you're stuck on bosses. Or, well, maybe you're not, maybe you're a pro at this. Well then, why are you watching this? Anyway, from the Waking Flame DLC, this is Red Petal Bastion. Why is it called Red Petal Bastion? Because out back there's lots of red flowers, and it's a bastion. I really couldn't think of a better story. Shall we begin? Let's begin. We'll begin by going through this door, or looking in our inventory. As you can see, we've got lots of dank stuff, but let's go through the door. Open the door, go in the door. Okay, we're going in. And this leads us to a rather lovely loading screen, which is gone. Good. Okay, now here we are at boss number 1. Boss number 1, of course, is a secret boss. And no, I can't tell you how to get to it, because that's not what these videos are about, but I can tell you how to kill it. So it starts off with a bunch of ads, kill the ads, blah blah blah. They're just, you know, regular trash, beat them up, avoid whatever mechanics they do, AoEs and so forth. Eventually, the actual boss will spawn. Why am I even showing the trash? You're not stuck on it. Okay, here he is. It's one of those Wraith of Crow things, and he does Wraith of Crow things. Don't stand in the gigantic AoE that comes out of him, or you'll come a cropper like that. It chases you around. It's kind of like the lightning AoE thing that 𝕊𝕌𝔹𝕊ℂ𝐿 does in 𝕃𝕀𝒂𝒎𝒑𝒔 2 when he does it. So he does that. He also does a thing where he throws a bunch of circle things on the floor all over the place. You'll want to avoid those too. Other than that, you know, he's got the standard heavy attack, blah blah blah. There was the circle things, and the important point is he's been defeated, and here's a cake to celebrate a lovely active life defeating bosses. So anyway, when we pop back to life, we'll loot our lockpicks, because you always get really good stuff from these mini bosses. Ooh, no lockpicks this time. Well, let's go on through the portal and make our way to the first proper boss after this loading screen. Here we go. This is Rogerain the Sly, and he is a very happy gentleman with lots of silly things to say. But we're not interested in what he's got to say. We're interested in what's in his pockets, and the best way to get that loot is by defeating him. We've activated hard mode, because why not? Honestly, this hard mode isn't too much different from doing it on straight vet. The real difference is he gets more health and he hurts more. But other than that, the mechanics are basically the same. So, for the tank, do the usual, taunt him, turn him away from everybody. He's going to put a gigantic big AoE on the floor. Don't stand in that, it really hurts, and as you can see there, some littler circles radiate out from it. They just travel in a straight line, so do some of that fancy footwork that Apollo Creed taught to Rocky Balboa in Rocky 3 to avoid them. Periodically, the boss will turn somebody into a goat. As you can see, it's happened to Cat here. When you're a goat, run around and use your activate button to eat these sweet rolls. When you eat them, a little ball thing flies through the air and lands on people in your group. It builds their ulti up really fast, helps them heal. It's a nice buff. So you get good enough ulti generation from that whenever someone's turned into a goat that you could nearly spam your ultimates, which is good because this boss is nothing but a massive wall of health. Periodically, he'll spawn a portal, usually in one of the corners. When a portal spawns, that portal is now the priority target. It must be destroyed, because ads come out of it. Daedric ads, very, very painful ones. The worst of which is the Watcher, the big eyeball man. If one of those comes out, kill it as fast as you can, because it's got a move where it will pin somebody and hold them still and kill them. You can interrupt the Watcher, but the person being pinned can't free themselves, it relies on someone else. Just kill that Watcher as soon as it spawns. Then kill any other ads that may have come out and destroy the portal before going back to the boss and rinse and repeat. Another thing to watch out, the boss throws poison things all over the place. They land on people, they land all around the floor, try not to stand in them, and he'll summon these two little frogs. They could be anywhere in the room. The tank can chain those over and just have them die in all the AoE and cleave. The main thing is, the frogs aren't fun, especially when you're running around as a goat. So, kill the portals, kill any ads that come out, work on the boss, chain in and kill any frogs. There's a frog there. Kill the frog. Very dank. Boss is almost dead. Ooh. I see we're ignoring this portal now just because we're in execute. You can get away with that, but keep your eyes out for a Watcher, because if one of those spawns, you could be in trouble. Almost done. Doing pretty well. You can see someone's over there running around synergizing the sweetrolls to buff everybody. Nearly got him. There he goes. He's dead. Fantastic. Loot your lockpicks. And then head through this door, which will lead us to a loading screen. Very nice. Okay, here we are. Boss number 2. Secret boss number 2, I should say. It's actually boss number 3 if you count all of them. This one's going to be a spider Daedra, but first of all, of course, you have to kill a bunch of ads. Same old thing. They just run around, they do the usual attacks. They're spiders, so they spit and they jump about. Kill them. Pretty straightforward. Oh, there's also a scorpion. Kill him too, in case he stings you. Probably hurt, I would imagine. Once the ads are dead, out pops the spider Daedra from a portal there, and as you can see, she's very beautiful, and she has a rather lovely pair of boobies. Why do spiders have boobies? I don't know. But in ESO, they do. So what does this boss do? Well, tank, as usual, taunt her, turn her away from everybody, watch out for the spit, she'll spit at one person randomly, and watch out for the lightning. I believe that targets 2 people at a time, and it just sort of goes back and forth. Avoid that as best you can. There's the usual big heavy smack, block. It's very straightforward, tank and spank. And once that's done, you loot your lockpicks, you get another rather dank buff. And off you go through the portal, which will lead you to everyone's favourite boss, the triplets. These 3, you know what? Let's turn the hard mode on. We're just going to go beat them up. It's going to be so easy, I can just tell. Because, hard mode, schmard mode. Let's go get him! Oh. But, well, that was practice. So, I guess the point I'm trying to make here is don't take this hard mode lightly. It's hard. But that was practice. This'll be the time. Let's try it again. What does this guy do? I'm about to tell you. So, the artifact bearers, 𝕊𝕦𝕣𝕖, and 𝕊𝕦𝕣𝕖. I'm not exactly sure I'm pronouncing their names right, but there are 3 of them indeed. The main guy, 𝕊𝕦𝕼 here, the first thing he's going to do when the tank taunts him is do a kick, which will not only knock the tank back if he's not blocking, but it'll send out an AoE that just keeps going. He always seems to send it straight toward the group, even if you stab him from behind. Off it goes, so everybody in the group needs to watch for it coming and dodge roll. Turn him away, try to have him facing toward a wall. At about 80% health, he's going to summon the first ad. It's an archer lady, and the annoying thing she's doing is she puts this shield on the big boss. You can kill her to get rid of the shield, but she'll come back in a little while, or everybody can get inside the shield to continue damaging him, which I personally prefer that method because it stops you from splitting all the DPS up and making the fight take longer because you're focusing down an ad. One way you can do it, of course, is you can taunt the boss and take him over to the archer lady so that they're together, and then she'll get burned along with the boss. The problem with that is she moves around and he jumps around, and anyone who gets too far away from the group, the main boss will jump to. So I personally find it easier to just have everybody stay inside the bubble and damage him inside the bubble. Aside from the periodic kicks and the jump to anyone far away, another thing he'll do quite frequently is he will do a charge move, usually towards the tank, that can knock you flying, so make sure you block or dodge that. Meanwhile, as you can see, this archer lady is causing all these things on the floor that look like sort of broken glass looking things. Now, you don't want to stand in them because they hurt, but the tank, if he's a solid tank, can usually just sort of walk through them and pop a good amount of them to give you some clear floor space. You just saw the charge there. At about 50% of his health, he's going to summon the second ad down. Here he is, the melee guy. Now, this guy is really irritating. He will run across the room and start channeling. You need to interrupt him, or he's going to make the boss get enraged, and that's going to make it even more painful. So one thing you can do, and the thing you probably should do to make it a bit easier on yourselves, is take the ads out. But if you can maintain taunt on all of them and avoid all the AoEs, you can really just focus down the boss so long as you stay inside that shield. But if you want to get rid of the shield, make sure you kill the archer, and the best way to do that would be to take the boss over to the archer so that the boss is also getting damaged at the same time and not splitting the group up. Either way works. The group I'm in here, we just sort of preferred doing it by stay in the bubble method. Nope, we've had a whoopsie. We'll have to get that res on our beloved healer, because medicine, of course, is really great. But remember, if you've been killing those secret side bosses, you are getting a couple of extra buffs, one of which is that flamethrower that comes out anytime you're blocking. It doesn't do the greatest amount of damage, but any little helps. And we've come a cropper again, but remember, Don't get discouraged by deaths. They absolutely can happen. There is so much going on, so much on the floor. Sometimes you can really just be stuck between a rock and a hard place. You can't go here because there's the super poo. You can't go there because that other man's there. You can't go here because there's one of those cone AoEs. So sometimes you really just don't have room to move, but all you can do is do your best. So we've got him a bit over halfway now, and it's really just rinse and repeat at this point. Avoid the kick that he does. Tank, always make sure you're facing him away from the group as best as you can. Everybody else, always be prepared to block, and remember to stay as close to the boss as you can because you don't want him jumping across the room. That old mechanic where a lot of bosses do that in here, so whoever's furthest from the group, the boss just jumps on them. So you want to try to keep him nice and still, and keep everybody in the group close to him so that he doesn't jump too far. Remember, stay in the shield as best as you can. Watch out for the ads. If the man with the sword, the two-handed man, is channeling, someone could try to interrupt him. The best way to do that without getting too far from the boss, obviously, is if somebody's got Crushing Shock available, so that they can just spam that from a Destro staff. If somebody else can get close, though, maybe they can just do a regular bash with their weapon. And it's very difficult to do, but the tank really should try to keep taunt on all three. As you can see, I'm failing quite miserably at that. Obviously, I am the tank here. You're watching from 𝕊𝕬𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑𝕑 So, something to note is at around about 30% of the boss's health remaining, the two ads become unkillable. They heal way too fast, and the tank really needs to keep on top of them there, and that's part of the reason why I'm of the opinion that you might as well just get in the bubble and fight them instead of worrying about trying to take them out as well, and just do the whole fight with the bubble up and whatnot, because at the end they're just going to respawn if you have killed them, and they're not going to be killable, so you're going to deal with them anyway. So you may as well just go through the whole fight with them up and stay inside the bubble to damage the boss, because those two ads, they are just going to heal and heal, and there's pretty much nothing you can do about them. So just deal with their mechanics. Tank, do your best to keep them under control, and everybody else really just needs to worry about focusing on the boss from this point forward. And again, you've still got to watch out for the cone AoE from the archer, all the little glass-looking things, the gigantic super poo like he's doing there. He still does the charge, he still does the kick, he will still jump on anyone who gets too far away from the group. All the mechanics remain. The only difference now, of course, you can't do anything about the ads, you can't get rid of them, you've just got to deal with them. So, do your best, Tank, to stay on top of them, and everybody else just work on that boss, wail away on him. If you've got any ultis, dump them, do everything you can to just put this guy down. And again, remember, easier said than done. There are so many things going on, so many things on the floor to avoid. It's easy to get stuck between a rock and a hard place and have nowhere to go, so accidents can and do happen. But don't be discouraged, just keep trying, keep your eyes on the ground, watch out for what you're stepping in, keep moving, and keep on that boss. We've almost got him now. And then I'm sure we're going to get some really great prizes. I'm hoping for some star metal and a lockpick. But we'll see. And now I'm just watching the last little bit of his health go, because I'm pretty sure I've told you everything this boss does. He's nearly dead. That looked like it hurt. Ouch, said the boss. Nope, now he's jumping to escape. Okay, last few percent. Put him down, put him down. Bloody die. And there we go. Fantastic. Loot all your dank stuff. Another boss done on hard mode. Let's head through this door, which leads us to a loading screen. And then finally to the last of the secret bosses. This time, there's a bunch of ads again, as always. And then it's a Grievous Twilight, I believe, the boss here, which is, the first time we saw those, of course, was in the Imperial City. They're the big hunky men with wings that jump around. And he's going to have all the usual attacks that winged Twilights have. So there's going to be the standard heavy attack that the tank just needs to block. He's got something similar to Lord Warden in Imperial City Prison, like the meteor attack. But it'll target everybody. Try not to stack together, make sure you spread out, because obviously that damage stacks when it hits the ground. You can see it happening here. Everybody just Get away from each other. Don't be in that. And of course he does that like gun-like move where he holds his hands together and shoots a bunch of bullets at you, so avoid that. And once he's defeated, which is pretty straightforward, it's through the portal and onward to the final boss. The final boss, who is an extremely strong and muscular gentleman known as Prior Thierric Sarazen. He's got a very nice hat. I sure would like to have his hat to wear it. Well, let's do what we do, turn on the hard mode, and then let's get right into seeing what it is we've got to do. Well, actually, you don't get to get into it right away, because he has to make a grand entrance, making the door explode, and then slowly walking in to let you know how muscular and beefy he is. And then, well, I think that was a practice. But yes. It's not an easy fight, there's going to be a lot going on, and I'm going to explain it to you right now. Lol. So to get this started, the tank needs to taunt him and turn him around. You want to keep him as central as possible, and you want to try to keep him still. He does the same kick from the boss fight with the 3 people, so you need to watch out for that. He does a massive cone AoE attack, so DPS really don't want to even be on the side of him, they want to be behind him, because if you stand next to him, it'll probably hit you, and it is a one-shot for anyone but the tank, and it can be a one-shot for the tank if he drops block. You can see here, blade projection. What he does, they look like shark teeth coming out of the floor. Just back away, let them happen, and then move back in toward the boss. Periodically, he will teleport across the room and start channeling in one of the corners. When this happens, somebody is going to have a mark under their feet, and if the boss isn't interrupted from doing that channel, that person who is marked will die. It'll be just like blade projection, but this one will instantly kill you. He also has like a red shadow shade of himself, you can see there. It's also going to attack what the boss is attacking, so as long as the tank positions himself right, they'll both be facing him and facing away from the group. These huge super poo circles, if the boss is stood in them, he gets healed by them, and they damage you. So you need to move him away from them and not stand in them. Periodically, these huge, hunky, shirtless men are going to spawn. They've got a move called 𝕊𝕌𝒹𝕂𝔼. When they do that, they're channeling, interrupt them. What the tank should do is taunt them and stand on either side of the pillars so that they will slowly move towards you. That way you can get them stacked, because they cannot be chained or positioned in any other way. DPS need to keep an eye out for them, and they need to bash them because they will heal the boss the hell up. At about 60%, the boss begins summoning walls. These ghost walls, they're just like the ones in 𝕊𝕌𝒹𝕂𝔼, except, you know, there's going to be a hole somewhere in them, and they're not instant death, they just knock you flying. Watch out for them, look for the hole, and step between them. Keep your eye out for littler ads as well. They always end up turning into ogrims, and they just keep coming, and they keep piling up. So anytime ads spawn, you need to take the ads out. That's not just the big shirtless guys, that's little ads too. The tank can chain them in. Even when they turn into mini ogrims, they can be chained or taunted. So every ad that spawns, you want to kill it. You don't want to let them pile up, because they just keep coming, and you will end up with so many in the room that you'll just be overwhelmed. Again, keep the boss out of those circles, because when he's in them, he gets healed, and when you're in them, you take damage. Watch out for the big shirtless men, and watch out for the walls, of course, because that's always a painful thing. You want to make sure that you can find the hole and get through it as quickly as possible. Again, we'll try to get the boss back to the middle. The more central you can keep him, the better. The walls always either seem to come from the north side or one of the sides, but they never seem to come from the side that the door is on. At least I haven't noticed them coming from that way. Of course they could. But just keep your eye out, watch out for the walls, keep looking out for those shirtless men coming down, and kill them immediately. They are the priority once they spawn. Other than that, watch out for the blade projection, and a bit of the way into the fight you'll see all these red spinning tornado things on the floor. Stay out of them. They move, which means you've got to move. This is tricky for the tank, because not only does he need to try to keep the boss still, but he's got to avoid these things, which invariably end up coming toward him. And you don't want too many of them between the DPS and the boss, or the DPS aren't going to be able to reach the boss. As you can see, all these mechanics happen all at the same time, so it's a lot to watch for, and you have to be careful. Don't forget also, the boss is going to continue to periodically teleport across the room, put that mark on someone, and start channeling. As you can see what the tank has done here, taunts everything, moves over to a corner, tries to get those ads to come. But watch out for the Mending Miasma and make sure you interrupt if you see it. You don't want the boss getting healed. Remember, these ads just keep coming. These walls just keep coming. They come a few times, they stop for a little bit, and then they come again. Also, don't forget about that kick move, because just like in the previous boss fight that used it, when he kicks, it radiates out a whole bunch of AoE circles that fly across the room in a straight line, and if they come across you, you are going to take serious damage if you're not the tank. And if you're not blocking as the tank, you're also going to take serious damage. Do your best to not be at the side of the boss because of the big wide AoE cleave. Try always to be behind him. Here we've got the blade projection teeth looking things again. Just back up slowly and try to avoid them. Alright, we've almost got him now. Once we get to execute, he's going to constantly summon a pair of these guys. Now, you can try to burn the boss here, but someone's going to have to be on interrupt duty. It's honestly better and safer to just take out these two shirtless ads, and then burn the boss a bit more until the next pair spawn, and then take out that pair, and then get back on the boss. Just pace it. This one isn't a DPS race. This one is just take your time, follow everything, defeat any ads that spawn, and attack the boss as and when you can. As long as the tank keeps him out of the circles that heal him, and everybody else bashes and interrupts the shirtless men, he won't get healed, and you'll be able to take him down. Almost got him. As you can see, as long as you keep an eye on everything, watch your footing, you'll have no problem. Down he goes. Congratulations, loot your lockpicks. He is defeated. So it's a tough one, this, but it's absolutely doable. I believe in you. Go get it done. Subscribe if you like what you see by clicking the subscribe button and then pressing that little bell to be notified when we make more videos and put them on YouTube. You can also check out Twitter, where there are tweets. Those are dank. You can go to Instagram to look at photographs. Everybody likes photos. Photos are cool. And you can go to YouTube, which you're already on. So, hi. And of course, don't forget to check out the stream at twitch.tv/𝕊𝕌𝔹𝕊𝕂𝕼. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Bosses Only!